Hello, my name is Mordecai Marisa. I do really appreciate for keeping your eyes on my social media platforms where I post my opinions about Uganda and sometimes global affairs, especially politics and current affairs. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'll let you see a very, very dangerous allegation that was made by the president of Uganda. I'll play you this clip and after I'll give my comment on the other side. But for now, watch.
So, as a consequence of that, I have now got all the evidence that in the last election, NUP cheated by 1 million votes. I have the facts. NUP can take me to court. And the same seven has falsely accused them. But this is what happened, 1 million votes.
Now, that's a very dangerous allegation made by the president of Uganda, accusing his political opponent for stealing over 1 million votes. I would say this story didn't get the attention it deserved in Uganda. And probably, maybe I understand why. For lack of a better word, I would say it was rubbed under the carpet, and for reasons probably that are obvious. You know, when I read Edward Herman and Noam Chomsky's book known as Manufacturing Consent, in the preamble of the book, I think I'll read you that. I think I have this book here. Manufacturing Consent. And in the preamble, this is what it says. Then I'll probably from there I will tell you what I think about that video. Okay? Manufacturing Consent by Edward Herman and Noam Chomsky. It says, but entertainment, because when this story didn't have the attention it deserved, I realized that entertainment and sports was on the forefront of almost every TV and radio station and newspapers in Uganda. And I'm like, why? But I remember that, I read a book and this is what Noam Chomsky said. But entertainment has the merit not only of being better suited to helping sell goods, it is an effective vehicle for hidden ideological messages. Furthermore, in a system of high and growing inequality, hello Uganda, entertainment is the contemporary equivalent of the Roman games of the circus that diverts, that diverts the public from politics and generates a political apathy that is helpful to preservation of the status quo. I'll read you the last line. In a system of high and growing inequality, entertainment is the contemporary equivalent of the Roman games of the circus that diverts the public from politics and generates a political apathy that is helpful to the preservation of the status quo. Now, I wasn't surprised as to why, the story didn't have so much attention. But this is the president of Uganda making baseless accusation against his political opponent, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, alias Bobi Wine. I don't know if my president, Bobi Wine, has really held a press conference and addressed this issue. This is extremely dangerous. And I'm going to lay down the reasons as to why I think it is very dangerous. But let's go back. What were the results of the 2021 election Museveni is referring to? Museveni received 6,420,898 votes. That is equivalent to 58.38%. Bobi Wine, on the other hand, received 3 million votes, 683,437, equivalent to 35 99.08% votes. Now, of course, these numbers are cooked. Bobi Wine won that election. But let's take these numbers, for the face value, on face value, and try to go back. Let's take a mental flight to 2021 or 2020. What was the run-up like to the election? Museveni is accusing Bobi Wine of cheating in an election where Museveni won. But let's take a mental flight, my brothers and sisters. Let's try to go back just a few years ago, 3 or 2 years ago. During the run-up to the election, Bobi Wine was circled by all kinds of impediments, blocks for his campaign. Even before he announced that he was going to run, his political power movement, his name was already taken over, trying to find ways of how they can stop him from running. He finally gets the National Unity Platform, and then it wants to be taken away from him by the same people, the Museveni group. But besides that, he was arrested a number of times. Not only being arrested, he was blocked when he had to go to campaign to different places. His friends were tortured, many abducted. Some of his closest friends were killed. Many violently arrested, himself violently nominated. This is the run-up to the election. Some of his supporters, some of his friends are still languishing in dangerous, extremely poorly maintained prisons of Uganda. Museveni looks in the camera and says, that man that I tortured, that man whose people I killed, that man whose people I abducted, stole elections from me, stole votes from me. And it doesn't get the attention it deserves. This was the run-up to the 2021 election. But that's not all. The most important question now becomes, what is Museveni trying to do? Why is he saying all these things? Like I said, it didn't have the attention it deserves, but Museveni knows what he's doing. He came through power through abysmal violence that we still have to pay a price. Over 100,000 to 500,000 people died in the Luwero War. Many of them, hundreds of thousands of them, need to be compensated. Places that were ravaged with war, they are abysmal if you went there. But that's how he came to power. And he's the guy that is saying these words. He said, so as a consequence of that, I have now got all the evidence that in the last election, NUP cheated by 1 million votes. And people clap. This is the obsequiousness, the level of kissing of the ring or licking boots I usually talk about. Why are people clapping? Are they clapping because he said, oh, they cheated? Oh! The desire to make themselves so obsequious that, a mere saying hi, they want to laugh. These men and women have sold their dignity. They do not see themselves as worth of respect before Museveni. That a mere coughing, they would say, oh, call an ambulance. They want to make him feel comfortable. I think Martin Luther King Jr. that, they without even being, tickled, they will laugh. Just to make the king feel good. But he continued.
So, as a consequence of that, I have now got all the evidence that in the last election, Nope cheated by 1 million votes. I have the facts. Noop can take me to court. And the same 7 has falsely accused them. But this is what happened. 1 million votes.
I have the facts. NUP can take me to court. And they say Museveni has falsely accused them. But this is what happened. Now, listen to what he says. NUP can take me to court. It is the one who is alleging. He who alleges must prove. If you allege that, oh, you have all the proof, bring it out. Don't give us lip service. Oh, I have all this proof that, you cheated. Okay. Provide. Avail yourself with proof, sir. You can't just make baseless accusations and say, I have the proof. Please show us. And now that you know that you have the proof, why not drag them to courts of law? But he doesn't. And this is why he does it. Strategy. Because he controls the court. The courts of law are in the entire judicial. So he wants to be dragged to courts of law by the NUP in some sort of a facade display of democracy. Oh, I've been taken to court. Then I'm going to provide evidence. And it's, like I said, it's a facade of a democracy so that the world can see and be like, oh, the president of Uganda has been dragged to courts of law by his opponent and he's won the case. No. If you have the proof, drag NUP to the courts of law. You can't allege this. And you say, I have all the evidence. I have all the proof. Oh, they cheated. Show us. But you might be wondering, why is Museveni doing this? He's a very strategic man. Nefarious. Nefarious strategy, of course. I'm not talking about smart or a kind and loving strategy. No. Nefarious. Very abysmal. He's doing this because he is laying groundwork, dirty groundwork for the 2026 election. Now, after saying this, making these bizarre comments about his opponents, now he's sort of getting ahead of the game so that he can accuse. Remember, I've told you about how obsequious his people are. Some of them who have chosen to be his lapdogs. When he says this, like I told you, if he coughed, call an ambulance. Now, this is some sort of a tacit order. I'm telling you, you've got to do something as we headed for 2026. He's speaking to his minions, to his obsequious friends, to his group, and telling them, hey, get ready for what we're going to do. Because now I'm making baseless accusations to the underdogs, to my underdogs, and you know what I'm going to do? Because Museveni doesn't actually have to say, I hate you. He just has to look at you in a weird way, and his minions will do his lackeys will do the rest. So he's now laying groundwork for the most dangerous situation in Uganda. He's normalizing the spreading of misinformation. He's master of information. I mean, he controls the media fraternity in Uganda. He wields, the power he wields over it is unimaginable. So he's normalizing, he's telling these news organizations that I can spread misinformation and you cannot fact check me. Because when he made these allegations, not a single media house fact checked him. Zero in Uganda. Not a single media house. Not any independent journalist came out and said, Mr. Museveni, your allegations are baseless and you have proof, please avail it. You may not even ask him, probably the NRM party. He's normalizing misinformation. 3, he's threatening people. Get ready for what is coming. I know what you did. Of course, he's lying, but I know what you did in the past election. Now get ready what I might do to you. It is dangerous rhetoric. And I would ask, because when he threatens Ugandans, he's threatening Ugandans against voting. He's threatening Ugandans who might volunteer, who might avail themselves to do electoral work for free, for the sake of their country. He's threatening folks in other political parties. It is dangerous. This is very dangerous stuff. And I would ask the president of the National Unity Platform, Bobi Wine, to address this issue. This is shameless. This man is laying a dangerous groundwork, and he should be called out. I'm calling out the media houses in Uganda to say something, to fact check him. He's lying, and you're sort of becoming complicit with his lie. Imagine a man who controls all the 3 arms of government, all the institutions, everything in Uganda coming out and saying, oh, you cheated. Remember, internet was off in Uganda. I was in the middle of this. I was covering this election. There's no way the People Power National Unity Platform cheated with 1 million votes. Impossible. Not in the world of Mr. Museveni. He's master at the game of stealing election. These are not my words. Go back to the courts of law, where Vestia dragged Museveni to the courts of law and what they said. Oh my God. Anyways, that's what I have for today. But you might be wondering, what do? We continue exposing him. We continue posting on social media. We continue calling them out. That's if you know, the work you do is on social media. We continue making these kind of videos. We continue sharing these videos with people and telling them, here is what he's doing. So that they know, so that they're not caught off guard. Share this video. And now that takes me to what I was going to say. Please consider subscribing to this YouTube channel, Mordecai Murisa. Like I said, like Noam Chomsky said, I do not have interests of selling you ideas that would maintain the status quo in Uganda. No. Mine are for change. And that's what I'm pushing. So consider subscribing. Write down what you think. And if this video makes any sense, like it and share it with your friends and, you know, with your groups, and see if it can make a difference. My name is Mordecai Murisa. Till we catch up again. Bye-bye.